We've got an Alberta clipper moving across the province today. Just a few flurries, just a few raindrops here. In fact, it will be mainly some rain showers by the time this batch gets to the GTA. And that's because temperatures here have been running at 3-4 degrees here throughout the afternoon. And it's going to be like kind of hit and miss. It's not a widespread rainfall by any means. It's a few raindrops, a few flurries expected at times. As we go into tomorrow morning, we are talking about a couple of rain showers. So maybe some wet roads and sidewalks, like damp. For the most part, no ponding, no pooling. This is very light stuff. But this right here is the cold front that's going to bring some heavier snow, possibly 5 to 10 centimeters for places like Mount Forest early Wednesday morning. That cold front will continue to sink south. However, it will sort of break apart as it does so. So there's the cold front going through Newmarket and back over towards Kitchener. But the actual snow that's along it will start to break down and break up because it's got to go over the Oak Ridges Moraine and before it gets to Toronto. So, you know, we may see some flurries in the morning in Toronto, better chance in the afternoon as lake effect snow starts kicking in. That's the wind coming in here out of the north, driving in the heavier snowfall amounts, possibly 10 to 15 centimeters for Kincardine, Goderich, Blue Mountains over towards Collingwood and Meaford. All right, then we'll have some flurries through the afternoon. Again, lake effect, but it will start to ease and taper off as the wind eases on Thursday. Lake effect snow is always driven by, well, warm waters, cold air, and strong winds. So the future snow as we go, once that cold front goes through, we'll pick up a fast 3 to 5 centimeters here, but then the lake effect snow kicks in. And while we may see a light dusting in Toronto, this is the traditional snow belts, areas around Georgian Bay, areas around Lake Huron, where you see the 10 to 15 and possibly even up to 20 centimeters of snow. This evening, we're going to hold on to this warmth until that cold front gets here midday tomorrow. So 4 degrees this evening. It's going to feel a little colder, though, because the winds haven't peaked yet for today. We'll likely peak between 5 and 7, 5 and 8 p.m. tonight, around 60, 65 kilometers per hour. We're going to remain breezy here overnight tonight and into tomorrow because that's what's going to trigger the lake effect snow. But the warm weather, these are your morning temps that we're waking up to, and the warmth is still in place until the cold front comes through during the day. So that 4 degrees is not your afternoon high. We're probably going to hit that right around 11 or 12 o'clock, okay? So right around the lunch hour, we're hitting our high of 4. Temperatures at this point have already begun to fall through areas to the west of us. By the time kids are heading home from school, we're down to 1. We'll continue to sink down to -5 in case you're heading out for dinner. Remember, this does not include the wind chill factor. So if you're heading out for dinner tomorrow night, don't dress for 4 degrees, dress for -5. And then by the time we wake up on Thursday, these are actual air temperatures, not wind chills. Now we're going to throw wind on top of this, and you're going to have to dress for morning wind chills into the -20s, possibly down to -30 once you get towards Muskoka and Bancroft. This is going to be the coldest day likely of the season so far. -20s wind chills puts us in Toronto into a moderate risk of frostbite. Out towards Bancroft and Muskoka, we're talking about a high risk. Exposed skin has the potential to freeze in 10 to 30 minutes in eastern Ontario. These are the top 5 coldest days that we've had so far this season, with the coldest day being December 14th. Do you remember that? A couple weeks before Christmas, 10 days before Christmas, we had a -7 degree day. I'm forecasting a high of just -11 come Thursday. And this is going to be prolonged cold, with the exception of like a brief little back to seasonal period here for Friday and Saturday. But temperatures are expected to be below seasonal likely for the rest of the month, for the rest of January. Here's the good news. I don't see any big storms coming our way. There's going to be flurries here and there. There will be lake effect snow, as of course that's what happens when you bring cold air over. We've got the Great Lakes running below seasonal in terms of ice cover. And so lake effect snow will be an issue here depending on wind direction and speed. However, again, no big storms coming. Just bundle up. Even by next Tuesday, we're still talking about morning wind chills around -23.